watch this video. We're going to talk about this. Don't worry. But watch this video and then we'll talk.
To the girls who are really close with their moms, what's one thing that your mom did while you were growing up or still does that makes you want to have a close relationship with her now? Because I know a lot of women, myself included, who either don't talk to their moms at all or who do not have good relationships with them, who have had to like cut them off for whatever reason. The girls who are like this with their moms, what did she do? Like what is it about her that makes you still want to be so close? My twins are only one now, but when I think about my baby girl, these are things that I think about a lot as I see so many adult women who have strained relationships with their moms. I want to hear from the girls who have great relationships with their moms. What is it about your mom that makes you want to stay so close to her?
As this is a very pro-child-free page, I like to think that being child-free is synonymous with being an intentional parent. I am intentionally not parenting because I don't want to, and I know that about myself. But I also think that intentional parenting is what this woman is doing. It sounds like she's tried to prepare herself for parenting as best as she can, but now she reached this point in her parenting journey where she's like, oh my God, I'm missing some information. And I would like to share some of that information from a handy dandy notebook because I have a great relationship with my mom. I love that woman. In fact, here's a picture of my princess. This is one picture of me and my princess. I like her so much. I love her and I like her. And I take her with me on press trips whenever available. And this might be my favorite picture of us. This trip was from last year around her birthday. She left my evil Libra stepfather. And I was like, you know what? We're doing a whole reset. So I had the opportunity to take her with me to Mexico on a different kind of press trip. My brother paid for his flights. I got everything else covered. And look at her. Look at her. Now that I've introduced you to my princess, let's talk about what she did in the beginning stages and continues to do now that cultivates not just a good relationship with me and my brother, but also I think that she does this in all of her relationships, which is why the relationships that she chooses to continue to be a part of are thriving for as long as I've known them. My mom has friends that are older than I am. My mom has friends that I think are friends for 40 years, which is wild. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of friendship. But the foundations of those relationships are the same things that she brought to me and my little brother. So I want to talk about that. But first, some housekeeping. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. I also talk a lot about child-free living and decentering men, the intersections of all of those things with the focus on what it's like doing that as a marginalized woman, specifically Black women. So if any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, subscribe, and other housekeeping things. I told you I was going to talk about this thing on my face. As you guys have seen, I have had an active breakout on this side of on this little patch for way too long. And I live for a vibe and this is killing it. So I have decided to take Korean skincare into my own hands. And now the active breakout is gone, but I've got some scarring. I don't like that. So I'm going to share with you guys some things that worked for me. Got them all from Marshalls. Marshalls, if you're out there, I demand some money from you guys because I give you too much. And now I'm giving you content for free. If anybody here works at Marshalls, I demand to speak to a manager. So first, this little guy right here. This was, I want to say $4. I know it's not a lot, but it's Skin Fix Acne Plus 2% BHA cleanser. This actually works so well for active breakouts. This got my breakout under control in, I kid you not, 2 days. So there's that. Next, now that the breakout is actively gone, I just need a cleanser that's not going to ruin my pH. Biddy, they had these for $5. $5 at Marshalls. And I was like, is there something wrong? No, they just bought them in bulk. This is my new go-to cleanser. This right here, new go-to cleanser. Low pH Good Morning Gel Cleanser Corex. Easy, breezy, done and done. I'm also on a Corex Fix, and now this right here is the Ultimate Spot Cream, also from Corex. I honestly, between this and BioSense, I think Right now they're tied, but this is more targeted in my experience. Once this is all calmed down, I'm going to go straight to my biosense again. But for immediate, hey, we need this specifically to be calmed down. Done and done. Okay, now that that's done, more housekeeping. New Orleans. I'm going to be in New Orleans in like a week and a half or so for who knows how long at this point. Because Tales of the Cocktail is going on, which is an international award conference for all of the spirits and like cocktail industry internationally, and I'm nominated for an award. Whoop whoop. So I'm going to be running around like a headless chicken the entire time because I'm also going to be writing about New Orleans for the BBC and for Essence magazine. Now Essence wants me to write about every single cocktail that I drink while I'm in New Orleans, so if you see me stumbling, bumbling, don't judge. I'm on the job, I'm on the clock. That being said, I want to know if there are any spirits, cocktails, things like that that you guys are interested in, because if so, then I would love to kind of take you along on the journey, or at least be able to make some more targeted content for, like, if you're really into tequila, there's a bunch of tequila brands that are brand new, not even on the market yet, that I'm going to go to private VIP events for. Gin, whiskey, bourbon. There's an event called All Black Everything, and it's created by the first Black person to ever own a liquor license in the United States, period. I call him Uncle Jackie. He's the best person. And so if any of that sounds interesting, please let me know what your favorite spirit is. Let me know what you would like more information on, and I can make content while I'm already there for you guys. So there's that, and then there's one other thing, writing coaching. I've been getting some emails from people asking about, hey, I would love to do some coaching with you. Like, I'd love to start my writing career. I'd love to whatever, right? I'm here for that. I've responded to as many as I can. My inbox is on fire. But if that is something that you're interested in, please sound out in the comments, because if there's enough interest, I will organize a master class. That's not just one class, but like a series of classes. So that way it's not just me teaching you guys how to start your writing career, whether that you want to be a novelist, an essayist, you want to be a freelance writer, you want to be an on-staff writer. I'm more than happy to share the information that I have, but I also think a masterclass would help people to find accountability buddies, to find people that share interests, so that way, you could kind of build a writing community, because it's going to be necessary. Trust. Writing is a hard thing to do in isolation a lot of the time. So let me know if you're interested in that. And now let's dive into the meat and potatoes. Number one, this is in no particular order, but number one, from the beginning, my mom let me talk and ask questions. As you can tell, I'm a talker. My mom has said, between me and my younger brother, I have an older brother, but he's a half brother, has a different mom. So when you hear me talk about my two brothers, at this point, we didn't know that older brother existed. So between me and my younger brother, my mom would say that when I was born, she gave birth to all the words she never spoke. And then when my little brother was born, she gave birth to all of the feelings she never allowed herself to feel. And I be asking questions, right? I've been asking questions so much that now my job is literally to ask other people questions. And in a lot of communities, especially immigrant communities, especially melanated immigrant communities, kids are meant to be seen and not heard. And if you asking too many questions, you got a something coming your way. And my mom not just allowed me to ask questions, but encouraged my questions. My phrase growing up was, and you know what? And that was just me processing. So she would just put me up on the counter. She'd be cooking, she'd be doing whatever. And I'd just be processing something. I'd be like, and you know what? And she's like, no, what? And she just let me go until I came to a conclusion. That could be a conclusion for a baby, but also some of my, and you know what, gave her some really big insight into life. And she was like, I am so happy that I just let you talk, because now you get to talk for a living. Now, her allowing me to talk did two things. One, it allowed me to feel comfortable expressing my thoughts in the home, which then allowed me to feel comfortable expressing my thoughts outside of the home. It gave me a level of confidence that I think all kids need. And I love talking to kids. I think that to a degree, kids do have it all. They got all the answers. If you just let them process, if you just let them, obviously, the terrible twos are the terrible twos, but when it comes to the way that they see the world, they really do see the world for what it is. And my mom let me process the way that I see the world. And that built me up internally. And when it came to my relationship with her, I knew that I could talk to her. Plain and simple. I knew from the moment that I started talking that I could talk to her, I could process with her. And that didn't stop as I got older. In fact, that only grew as I got older because my questions got bigger. And she never quieted them. She never said, oh, that's a stupid question. She never said, oh my God, go away. She never said, shh, the grown-ups are talking. It wasn't any of that. Obviously, there was like a time and place. Like sometimes my questions were like, hey, we'll talk about that at home. So much noise outside. I hope you guys can't hear it. But yeah, that was a big thing. Now, number two. Quick tangent. It is nothing short of cruel that apartment complexes like these force force not just men, but force people to go out and leaf blow in the middle of the summer multiple times a week when there's nothing, when there's not, it's not even fall. We're in July. It's a heat wave. It's not, it's almost noon. I'm getting back on track. Okay, number two. There was a lot of honesty while also not crossing boundaries. I saw my mom as a person early, not just a mom. Like, I personally didn't really understand growing up how so many of my friends didn't see their moms as people, and then they would realize that their mom was a person when they were in like late high school or college. I always knew that my mom was a person because of the amount of honesty that she shared with us while not crossing that boundary of knowing, okay, what is and is not appropriate to share with a child. So, for example, between her relationship with my dad, she never, she, because my dad, oh my gosh, it's so hard to talk about. It's not that it's hard to talk about my dad, it's just that he's such an enigma that it's hard to describe. But he was not dangerous intentionally. He was accidentally dangerous. Oh my God. Once again, King Julian from Madagascar is my father, right? So, that being said, he she never badmouthed him to us. She set up parameters so that way we could be safe with him because King Julian from Madagascar. But she gave us the space to figure out who our father was in the ways that our brains could process it. And so that way we could talk to her about what our questions were while also giving him the space to prove to us who he is. And I think that with the situation, I think that was really, that was the wisest thing that she could do because it also allowed us to see our dad as a person, but also a very messy person, a person that does not make sense. And we got the chance to see her, not just when it came to our relationship with our dad, but also like when things were hard, when she left our dad, I understood when things were hard to the degree where I was like, okay, things are hard. Mom is working on it. Mom might be sad. Sad is okay because I'm sad too. So we are sad together. So it wasn't oh, I'm only in my little world. It was, okay, my mom is also in a world with me and she has feelings just like me. Okay, so when I'm talking and processing, she understands that my sad is similar to her sad and her sad is similar to mine. This is the beginnings, right? These are the little things that helped me. Number three, she trusted me. I was also too much of a perfectionist to break the rules, but she gave me a lot of breathing room. And I think that at another level, yes, she trusted me, but also she trusted me and my brother. Not, I wouldn't say in different degrees, but she knew us as individuals. So she knew that when she knew that we were in general good, like not that they were bad kids, but she knew that in general we would do as we were told. But she knew that Tyler had a I forget the word. Oh my God, there's so much noise outside. But my little brother, he was more inclined towards chaos than I was at a certain time. Now, she thought Tyler's chaos was bigger than mine. But because she knew us as individuals, she knew how to talk to me to wait, let me this is a partially formed thought. Let me figure this out. You know what? I actually jumped ahead because what I was trying to do was conflate these two things, and this is actually literally my next point. So let me focus on the she trusted me. Because we had established a connection and a form of communication that was authentic to me and authentic to her, while also being respectful and also having a clear definition of, okay, that is parent, I am child. She was able to create space to trust me more and more. So she would give me little things to trust when I was little. And then if I didn't break that trust and she didn't break her trust to me, then I could trust her with a little bit more. And she would also trust me with a little bit more. And then that would just grow and grow and grow. And because I was that oldest daughter, once again, did not know older brother existed. But even though he exists, I'm still basically the oldest daughter. Like I wrangle my brothers, right? So oldest daughter, immigrant family, black, right? So no matter what, the perfectionism, that oh my god, I need to do everything right. I need to keep everything in order. That was going to be in the body regardless. But she gave me breathing room, so that way I could, even in the midst of this, try to explore what my boundaries were. Try to explore, okay, what do I feel comfortable with? How far do I want to go? Not in breaking her trust, but how far do I want to go in certain kinds of experiences, adventures, conversations, whatever. She gave me breathing room to figure that out. Now, things got a little complicated when it came to the church and where that breathing room came when I had questions about the church. But that's a story for another day. Now, number 4, she treated me as an individual. Her parenting of me versus my little brother was different. A lot of the times people put, especially when there's a lot of kids and there's not enough time, space, or resources to be able to know the children as individuals, a lot of people just put a blanket over it. They say, you know what, you're all my kids, I'm treating you all the same, I don't have time to get to know you. Which is very unfortunate and obviously creates resentment within the child, because why are you treating child A the same way that you're treating child C, when child A is the oldest sibling and much more orderly and child C is a chaotic gremlin? Another way of thinking about it, let's say that you got 4 kids. 2 of them like peanut butter. 2 of them hate peanut butter. Nobody's allergic. And you go, you know what? I don't got time for this. Everybody's getting peanut butter. 2 of those kids are saying, Mom, you know I hate peanut butter. You go, Mom goes, I ain't got time for this. Which, once again, a lot of parents do not have time for this. But what I'm saying is that it's putting a blanket over a child's experience, right? It's saying, I'm going to treat all of you the same, regardless of what your individual experiences, preferences, whatever is, which is hard for a lot of parents to do because of finances, time, which is also a resource, which is why I have a lot of feelings about who should and should not be child free. But we're moving on. All right, 5, and I only have one more after 5. There's 6 total, right? 5. She's always been open to respectful criticism. As a black family, I did not realize, because my experience with my experience with my mom is my only experience intimately of a mom. So I just assumed, oh, my experience is probably most people's experiences. No, no. The fact that my mom is so open to respectful criticism, how can I, talking to my brother, on a semi-regular basis. Now, I'm not talking like once a week, once a month, whatever, but check-ins, just like sporadic check-ins. Hey, how am I doing? How are you doing? How did you feel about XYZ? Hey, is there anything that you feel like you're missing from me? Do you want more time? We used to do mommy and Shayna days. We used to do that. Is that something that you still would like to do, or would you like to revamp it a little bit? I'm just questions. Open to criticism, right? And I have had some hard conversations with my mom, especially later. When I say later in life, I mean like in my 20s, about things that she did both growing up and some like more current, but mostly growing up, that I did not have the words for. But I was able to even go back and say, hey, I realize now that these kinds of things bothered me. And they still kind of show up now. And I feel like I need to talk about it so that way I can move through it. And sure, sometimes, you know what? I don't think she ever cried when I did that. But when little brother, ladies and their sons, when Tyler did that, because Tyler also has a space to do that too, but Tyler does that more in writing because he's a big man, big feelings. And so he writes out his feelings and he writes them out so that way he can not only process them, but because he's like, okay, this is exactly what I want to say, and I'm going to give it to mom, and she's going to read it, and then we can talk about it because this is exactly what I'm trying to say. And usually she cries when she gets those letters, and then they have like whole talks, right? But that even goes on now. That even goes on now. And that's what helps to keep the relationship so not it's not even just alive, but so vulnerable, so open, so intimate. And it allows us to continue to see the other as a whole person. And the last bit, 6, she's always been a fun time on her own, right? Like, not even necessarily a fun time with like in groups of people, or a fun time when something specific is happening. My mom has always been a fun time in her own very specific way. Like, she was never trying to be like another mom. I also think that she's pretty I think we're a very neurodivergent house in different ways. My own thoughts. But she couldn't conform if she tried, is what I'm trying to say. And she's always enjoyed, in my experience of her, she's always enjoyed the person that she is. I think growing up, she has vocalized this, she always felt like the oddball out. So she had to learn how to become comfortable with herself. And then when she learned to become comfortable with herself, she said, I never want my kids to feel uncomfortable with themselves. She grew up having a lot of questions and being told to be quiet, go outside, no kids allowed, you're supposed to be seen, not heard, right? Rural Caribbean living. And so she was like, I never want my kids to feel like that. So then she intentionally made sure that her kids didn't feel like that. She also never saw her mom having fun. She never considered her mom a fun time. And I don't think that she intentionally thought about this, but she made sure that she was going to have fun to whatever degree that she could as a mom. And she's will vocalizes. She had, I mean, she's still a mom, but especially when we were younger, she had fun. I got to watch my mom have fun. I got to watch my mom enjoy herself, single. And then, like, when Miguel came around, it was okay. It was a, I never really developed a relationship with him. I was just like, oh, he's a guy that my mom likes a lot. And then they got married. I was like, okay, because she really likes him. And then he was terrible randomly for no reason. Chaotic Libra. Chaotic Libra. And my mom is the sweetest Virgo angel. And you know what? Because of this, because of that, I have drawn in Virgos my entire life. I have three of my oldest friends. I've known them for over 20 years now. Oh my God. Oh my God. We've known each other for close to 25 years. Me and my other 3 biddies. We call ourselves the Amicops. Tell me how they're all Virgos. Most of the men that I've dated have been Virgos. And I don't have any Virgo man trauma. Listen, I'm not even going to lie. They like me, I like them. Am I still looking for them anymore? No. No. I have too much order and structure in my life now to draw them in. They love being fixers. And there's so much less fixing to do with me now. So I think that I'm drawing in less Virgo men. But that's, once again, story for another time. But I would love to hear, if you have a good relationship with your mom, what are some things that she did? Like, let's make a little list here. But also, if you don't have a good relationship with your mom, like, what are some things that you wish she did, participates in, either did long ago or does now? I think this will be helpful for not just the people who are actively like the people who are new moms, single moms, whatever, or like have children and are concerned about those relationships, but also for people that are considering being child free. Listen, if you can't do these things, don't have kids. If you can't do them, don't have kids. Why? Because if you can't do these kinds of things, if you don't have the space, the resources, the finance, the whatever, to be able to cultivate intimate, active, and personalized relationships with your children, then you don't have the space to have healthy relationships with your kids right now. And that's okay. And that's okay. And maybe you don't want to be able to, maybe this isn't a thing that you're interested in. And that's also fine. Just don't have kids. Just don't, if any of that resonates, just don't have kids. But those are my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours. Tippity type them away in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm looking at you. Okay, that's all for now. Bye bye.